What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stash Free Sports channel. Let's get right into it, and let's talk about the potential of CJ Stroud being QB1 now in this year's upcoming draft. So last night was a great performance by CJ Stroud in the Peach Bowl. Um, Best game of his career by far, numbers wise, and also just pocket presence, intangibles, all that stuff. Right, perfect time to do it. Last game of his career, and it shouldn't be. They came out to the last kick. They got him in good field goal range. I don't know what went wrong. The kick went wide left. Terrible miss. Not even close. So heartbreaking loss to the Ohio State and their fans and their players. But Stroud definitely put himself in a good lasting memory of college football and NFL scouts. You know, um, but did he do enough to be QB1? I did a video referencing this exact thing yesterday. Kansas State versus Bama's reaction video. I did a video basically titled or basically mentioning that Bryce Young has the QB1 spot locked up. And I stand on it. Stroud didn't do enough to me personally, but it's not a bad thing, and I'm gonna discuss why. But Stroud, who who's been good, close to great in my personal opinion at Ohio State all the last couple of years. He's been good, very very good. Not quite great in my opinion, but that doesn't mean he won't be a great NFL quarterback. Depends on where you go. It's about system, it's about scheme, it's about team, it's about coaching. So not being QB1 doesn't really matter, because most of the time QB1s don't work out as we all see. RB1s, wide receiver ones, tight end ones. The number one isn't always the best in the draft class, so things happen. It's all about scheme and fit, as I said. The higher you go, most likely, the worse the team is normally, but Stroud's game yesterday was fantastic, but to me personally, it looked like the Bryce Young game. this is what Bryce Young does every game. Bryce Young has that it factor that shows and oozes out of him every game. Stroud did that his last game versus the best team in college football, in my personal opinion, which was awesome, which was great. But one game doesn't cut it, And I referenced this as well in my last video that Stroud would probably do with Justin Fields impersonation, and like I said a couple years ago, Fields pushed the envelope on Lawrence and made people on social media think Fields could be QB1 from his draft class. This year's a little different. Bryce Young isn't as sturdy of a QB1 as Trevor Lawrence, only because of height and weight, only because of measurables. If Bryce Young was 6'1", 190, it would be no problem. But he's supposedly 5'9", 170, 175, which is scary. That is scary. I did say that in that video I did earlier. That is scary. That is tough to overcome. I would still do it personally. I think he's that special. I think he's that good. But if you don't, I would understand. And CJ Stroud, 6'3", 218, 220-ish, somewhere around that range. That's more prototypical NFL QB size. He can take a blow, keep moving. But today was very encouraging. I even said in my video yesterday, Stroud could end up being a better quarterback. Will Levis could end up being a better quarterback than Bryce Young. You never know how things shake out. Because if Bryce Young goes one, if he really is QB1, as I said, normally goes to the worst team in the league. So Houston Texans, cool. You get Bryce Young. That means potentially either the Detroit Lions, who's a playoff bubble team right now, who has good weapons around Jared Goff, could draft CJ Stroud. That means the Seattle Seahawks, who's a potential playoff team right now, who has weapons around Geno Smith, could potentially get CJ Stroud. Those are two better situations than going QB1. So QB1 isn't always end all, or being the first in your position isn't always end all be all. Yeah, you get the praise first. Yeah, you get the good look first. Yeah, you get the most money. But that doesn't mean you have the best career, the most money up front. But no, there's no telling how your career goes going QB1, receiver one, tight end one. It's just a good title to have, a good bragging right over other guys, a good accolade. So going one is great. But Stroud, I could see happening. Could go one, cause the size thing. But it'll be a blessing to not go one for whoever quarterback goes first. If they do go first, to the Texans, there is a possibility they could go Will Anderson. There is a possibility that they could go Jalen Carter. So that possibility is out there. They go defense first. I don't think so. No, Davis Mills clearly not the answer. The Texans benched him, what, 2 3 weeks? Then they finally brought him back after seeing Kyle Allen's atrocious play. So I definitely think they're going quarterback. They have to. They kind of have, unless they, you know, trade back or something, which is highly unlikely. If they believe in a guy, they're gonna get him. And that's either Will Levis, Stroud, or Bryce Young. I would think Bryce Young has it, but you never know. You never know, man. So, but yeah, Stroud looked promising, and I could definitely see Stroud being a top quarterback in this league. As I said with Bryce Young, if whoever goes first, forget Bryce Young, whoever goes first, as long as you're a top 15 guy, then you're fine. You're not considered a bust in my personal opinion. Top 15, top 20, you're a half mark of the league. You know, um, and you should be good. You're gonna get a big contract. You're gonna get big deals, and you're gonna have some good moments. As long as you're top 15, and you should be fine there. Bryce Young, to me personally, as I said, he walks in probably top 25. CJ Stroud somewhere in the top range as well. He's not too far off. As I said, Young is better than me, but Stroud isn't that far off. Depending on where he goes, I can definitely see Stroud being probably top 30, and that's not a bad thing. It's 32 teams with some sorry players at quarterback in some of these spots. He might even be higher than that. Probably in the same range as just Young, top 20, top 25 type of guy off the rip because of what they provide. He's better than some Stroud. Same I said about Young. I wouldn't mind seeing Stroud be through into a game today. Today's Sunday. I wouldn't doubt Stroud could play well in the game right now. Just throw him in there, see what he can do. I think Stroud could be at least decent, at least better than some of these backups right now. So he's a top half guy, or top echelon guy already. You have 64 quarterbacks. You got 32 teams, so every team is a starter. Every team has a backup. He's gonna be top 32 off rip. He's better than Zach Wilson. Uh, you know, he's better than a couple other guys as well. That's backups. So I think Young and Stroud are in good shape to be at least top 15, top 20 guaranteed. But depends on where it goes. Like I say, you never know fit, scheme, uh, and things like that. So I'm excited to see what both of these guys can do. But yeah, Stroud being QB1 isn't the end all be all. I definitely think that there's a possibility still. It's definitely possible. So that's it for video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.